Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. We're so glad to have you. And again, if you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Okay, y'all. I got to take a sip, right? Let me tell you why I got to take a sip.
What are you sipping?
Some herbal tea. We have, y'all know how I love this woman, right? Because y'all know I'm from Brooklyn. I don't play. And what I love about this multifaceted woman, she has done so many things. I first learned of her from a different world, right? But when I saw this Miss Jaleesa coming on stage, and I mean, she was the epitome. No one could have bodied that role like her, right? So let me introduce you to this phenomenal Brooklynite. I don't care where she lives, she's Brooklynite, okay? So we are here to introduce, check this out, y'all, Dr. Bam! What did I just throw on y'all? Dr. Dawnn Lewis. She's multifaceted, multi-talented, and individual. She's president. I'm telling you, that's why I had to drink that tea because there's so much that she's done that I didn't want to be parched. So she's president and CEO of Morning Jewel Inc. It's a multi-platform production company. Dr. Lewis received her honorary doctorate in her humanities. Look, okay? When I tell you, not only is this woman, because I'm telling you, I think now she can call the police and tell them, okay, I know who the stalker is, okay? I'm the one who has been stalking you. I'm happy to say this because you move with such grace and class. You haven't aged. And there's just something about you, Dr. Lewis, that it's the epitome of what women should be. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give you your roses. When I heard that we were going to book you, I said, okay, I'm not going to fan out, but I want this woman to know we got to give our queens their roses while they're here. Okay. So I'm giving you, if this is an imaginary rose, hopefully I can give you verbally your rose. So the Women Are Worthy Network, we are proud, we are honored to interview and have a great conversation with the one and only Dr. Dawnn Lewis.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, Jacqueline. That's so kind. I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And I graciously and gratefully, sincerely accept your roses, every petal, even the thorns, baby, because that's what keeps us, that's what the prickly is what keeps the unnecessary away. So thank you very much.
You know, I have tons of questions, and a lot of questions have, people have sent me questions to ask you. How did you, first of all, let's start from the beginning. How did you know you wanted to be an actor, actress?
Wow. Okay. Being from Brooklyn, you know what this means. I was born and raised in Bed-Stuy. And not only Bed-Stuy, but my family, my roots are in South America. So both my parents and aunts, uncles, grandparents, all of them are from Guyana, South America. So they migrated here because my dad was in the Air Force. My mom sponsored her siblings. She's the oldest of 8, and her parents to come to the US. I was born in Brooklyn. I'm the first female in my family born in the United States. Okay, coming from South America, values are very different. Traditions are very different. So that's the mindset. That's what the tools that my parents had to work with in raising myself and my 3 brothers. So as a girl, you're very limited to what your options supposedly are. As a boy, the sky's the limit. So my brothers were encouraged to do a lot of things. I couldn't do anything unless my brothers took me. However, I wasn't allowed to do a lot of the things that my brothers did because that's what boys do. And this is what young ladies do. You don't do that. Hen don't crow. All right. So I'm sitting in the house and watching TV, watching movies like The Sound of Music, Stormy Weather, everything with the Nicholas brothers, Danny Kaye and Shirley Temple, everybody singing and dancing. I learned very young that I could sing. So at 4 years old, I started singing. At 7 years old, my mom took a look at me. I was out playing with my brothers, and me, 7, I looked like I was 10. I was always very tall and very, very, very fit from my age. I'm standing in the middle of like 11 boys and me. So my mother said, okay, this has got to change. We need something else for Dawn to do. She took me to a dance recital at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. where another one of her friends had a daughter was dancing in the concert. And I looked at the stage and said, Mom, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. So she enrolled me in the same dance class. So I started singing at 4, dancing at 7. Every musical movie, I knew all the choreography. I knew all the songs because those movies used to come on every year or sometimes twice a year. So I was very familiar with them. So it was clear that I had the performance bug. I was so comfortable in my own skin. And I applaud my mom, my grandmother, and my brothers for that. Because I saw boys as friends. I saw boys as my protectors. That's the environment I was raised in. So gratefully, they helped me to see myself and be okay with myself, even though so many things and even other family members told me I shouldn't be. In fact, scorned me for pursuing entertainment. Again, very religious, very traditional, for certain members of the family. My being encouraged to go into the arts meant that I was being sent straight into the devil's hands.
Wow, you said some things that resonated with me because I come from a family of 8. I'm Jamaican and Cuban, so I'm gonna know exactly what you're talking about, right? So, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for supporting our platform. So, okay, so we're talking about your acting, and you're a playwright, you're a singer, you're a dancer. There isn't anything you can do, and I'm going to keep it real with you, okay? Because I try to be I am transparent, sometimes a little too much. When I saw A Different World, and I think most people will say this to you as well, it opened up your mind more about colleges, right? It opened up your mind about you can do any and everything. Everyone, what I loved about A Different World, especially when Debbie Allen took over, you can find yourself in someone of that group. Right. And that's what I love. You and I, you're married. Well, I mean, you married the general,
the colonel, right? The colonel.
From Cooley High, and I'm like Gwen Thurman, I think his name is, and
Thurman.
I'm like,
right. Today's his birthday, actually.
Today?
Today is Glenn's birthday.
Oh, wow! Happy birthday! You're watching.
That's my buddy.
And I've seen you in a lot of shows that you've directed, and you are just. I'm looking up because words escape me. I don't even think it's in the dictionary right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you do so much. And look, I don't try to blow smoke up in anyone. What I try to do with this platform and what we are doing in this platform, we have to start giving our sister their roses. There's so much negativity going on out there. I don't want to have to deal with that. I want this to be a safe environment. Okay. You have all these accolades. Also, you're a philanthropist. You have a nonprofit. How do you find time? How are you balancing the time? Before you answer that question, I ask men the same question. How are you balancing? Because sometimes it's a sexist question. We don't ask men, but I also ask women. How are you balancing it?
Well, grace of God, quite honestly, and grateful that where I am in my life and in my career, there's a lot of things I choose to do and choose not to do. And I learned to just add things gradually. Fortunately, the realities of the entertainment industry is that projects start and projects end. So there's nothing that you're doing 24/7 all of the time. Whether it's a TV series, you shoot for X number of months during the year. And then what you need to do while you're shooting that is position and strategize what your time is going to be like when you're not shooting that. The same thing with a film. If you're called to set normally during the morning hours, what am I doing with my evenings to position myself for the next thing? The entertainment industry is always about the next thing because the gig starts, the gig is going to end. And then within that framework, then you decide how you want to prioritize your time. And that's anyone. Whether you're male, female, young, old, you prioritize your time between classes and when am I going to do my homework? When am I going to participate in soccer practice? When am I going to go to dance class? When am I going to go, spend time with someone who I want to spend time with my friends? What kind of time do I give to family? What kind of time do I devote to church, to my different, all those kinds of things you have to prioritize. And the more you achieve excellence, and accomplishment in each area. And I'm not talking about being the best. I'm not talking about winning any races. I'm talking about you devoting the focus that it takes to do whatever it is you choose to do well. And once you exercise those muscles of doing that particular thing well, then maybe you can add something else to the plate. I think all too often we get so distracted. We want to do everything all the time that we end up not doing anything particularly well, or leaving things half-assed or unfinished. So that's been my strategy. Each time I take another step on the ladder towards my purpose and my passion, then I can realize, okay, I've got this down. Now let me add this on. Let me add that on. And gratefully, now I pick and choose what I want to do. The Lord and life and time, I have the same 24 hours as everybody else. You know what I mean? Has allowed me to explore and experience a variety of things, like animation. I do maybe 12 series now. All of them, some of them are with different studios. They like to record in different places. If 5 of them want me in the studio during the week, instead of me going into the studio every single day, I say, you know what? I'm free Tuesday. Can you book this at 10? I'll be there at 1. I'll be at the next one at 4. I'll do the other one at 6. Can we possibly put them in proximity to each other? So, and if best case scenario is, can we all do this in one studio? So I'll just stay in the studio and I'll record with Fox, then I'll record CBS, then I'll record, whatever it is. And you do your best to manage your time, and the people that you've positioned to assist you with managing your time, like you speaking with Dawn Walker, figure it out. Help me figure it out, because there's only one me. I can only be in one place at one time. But how do I maximize where I am? How do we move this so it moves smoothly and we get as much done efficiently and effectively as possible? That's how I do it. But I got to tell you, this nonprofit thing is more than a notion. That's like a whole other job. It's a whole other job, strategizing programs and fundraising. I've become a professional beggar. I don't usually ask anybody for anything. I really don't. I try to figure out how to get it done. But I've been doing it that way for more than 40 years. So I formalized my efforts so that I could get corporate support, because everything we do, and that's the A New Day Foundation, which is the play of my name, Dawn, A New Day, because we believe that where you were yesterday is not where you have to be today, nor where you will end up tomorrow. So we want to be your door of opportunity towards your new day, towards your best self. So that's what we do. And everything we do, we offer free of charge. So every corporate donation, every PayPal donation to the A New Day Foundation website, 100% goes to providing the means for the programs that we offer teens, our teen girls, 13 to 19. It's called Sisters Hangout. And for teen boys, 13 to 19, is called Mentors, MENTORS, which stands for Men Talking of Relevant Situations. So we expose them to career and cultural opportunities that they don't normally have access to. We feed them. We have a safe space conversation where they can talk about what's happening in their lives. They have an opportunity for peer-to-peer mentorship, and they learn. We're dealing and we're hearing so much more about people going through depression and feeling unseen and feeling unheard if they only had someone they could talk to. So in these safe space conversations, the teens learn they're not the only one going through what they're going through. In fact, this kid I never met before on the other side of the city is experiencing the exact same thing. How can we support each other? How can we build a village so that we don't feel like I'm out there on my own and it's either sink or swim? Then we have our conference in June.
Let me say this. So I was watching an interview with you, Kadeem, and Jasmine Guy, Charlene Brown, and I think Cree Summer was on there. So I'm watching the show because, watching my girl, supporting my girl. They were, I think, at a university, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. So this lady, they're taking questions from the people in the audience. This lady stands up, this young adult stands up, and she's talking about what she's doing, what she would like to do. Dawnn Lewis jumps up, excuse me, Dr. Lewis, because I'm going to get, Dr. Lewis jumped up and she's like, wait a minute, I have a nonprofit. This is what we can, y'all. When I tell you it warmed my heart, she jumped out and you can tell this is who she really is because she saw something in that person. This person has something. She just needs the tools. She just needs the resources. Baby, when I said that, I said, God is like, check, well done, because it was just so heartwarming. And this poor young lady wanted to, you could tell she wanted to cry. And she's like, this is my name of my nonprofit. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And you could see the person who's facilitating it like, okay, go ahead. I'm not touching this. I'm MC Hammer. Don't touch this. I'm not touching this. And it was so good to see, my sister, that you are out there. You're not just talking about it. You're rolling up the sleeves and you're actually doing that. So thank you for that. I mean, I saw it last week. It was just so interesting. I don't know when it was taped, but it was interesting.
No, we were all in Wilmington. It was at the Wilmington, Delaware Library, which is an African-American owned national library in Wilmington, Delaware. And to your point, it was myself, Charnel, Cree, Jasmine, Kadeem, and Daryl were there. And this woman, her name is Killeen. She was talking about how she could not finish school. Mm-hmm. She could not afford it. But her prayer is that she wants her daughter to go to college. So Spirit moved me when I was coming to Delaware, said, put this information in your suitcase. I don't know who it's for, but it was a bag, a booklet, some information about our foundation, etc. So when she said that, I had it with me up on stage and I was like, see, thank you, God. So when she started telling her story and her challenge and her desire to get a higher education and how it got interrupted, but her desire for her child to go, that's when, to your point, thank you for mentioning that, I stood up and said that our foundation at our annual conference, it's called Focused and Fit, FIT, which stands for Financially and Technologically Informed. So it's focused and fit for a different world. We do it every year on a college campus. We focus our workshops on financial literacy and technology. It's for high school juniors and seniors and their parents, and college freshmen and sophomores. By the end of the workshop, leading up to the conference, we have given the high school seniors and college students the opportunity to compete for scholarships. We award anywhere from 6 to 12 scholarships of $2,000 each and a brand new computer. I pledged that the New Day Foundation would give this woman's daughter, Jalen, a $2,000 scholarship and a new computer. And we've actually stayed engaged since that event, helping her get in line with resources and support systems on her journey. Because at the time, she's only a high school junior. Mm-hmm. So she won't be a senior until next year. So this year, based on her grades, we will be giving her an academic achievement award, probably like around $250, $500 to keep her motivated on this journey. So I speak to her mom fairly regularly. We exchange emails. Okay, what is her GPA? What is she doing? Did she fill out this form? Is she applying to this? We want to be of support, but at the end of the day, we can't do it for you.
Right.
So you've really got to demonstrate this is something you really want to do. You're really willing to do the work for. And what I found even in my own life is that when I demonstrate that way, there will be an abundance of people who present themselves to support you. When they see that you yourself are willing to do the work, they will show up and support you. So I thank God for that opportunity of getting a blessing to me so it could go through me where it can do someone else some good. I recently got inducted into Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated sorority. I got inducted last June as an honorary member. So to all my Zeta sorors, thank you, because they too are showing up big. They showed up big at that event. There were at least 20 of them there. They showed up in numbers en masse at the conference last year, sending young people to participate in the conference. I'm working with them now. So to my Zeta family across the country, God bless you. But that speaks to that network.
Yes.
When you ask me, how do I get it all done? It's true. Trust me. It's the village. It's the village of support and love. And sometimes you wonder, okay, I appreciate the love, but I don't understand how I'm going to get this next thing done. You know what I mean? It's an ever growing process. And some people are with you for a season. And when that season's over, it's like, okay, I'm moving into the next season. All of those folks aren't coming with me, or they can't come with me, or they got no business coming with me. Howsoever, we still got to do what's over here. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunities and the village that roughly comes around.
And I understand that because I left corporate America and somehow God told me this is what I need to do. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't like women. I don't want to do this. They gossip. I don't want to do this. So it took me practically close to death's bed to do this, right? And I said, well, how am I going to do it? He says, Jackie, knock and I'll answer the door. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I have a great personality. I know I love to talk because that's what you put in me. That's my talent. But that other stuff, I have to find women. You know they crazy. He's like, Jackie, I got you. And when I said he's got me so to the point where, because I'm a sex trafficking survivor, right? And I said, I want to use this platform to show people we're all in the same book, just different chapters. You may be in chapter 10, I'm in chapter 1. I can't just jump into chapter 10. I need to go learn my lessons 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then I started mentoring young girls and helping them. And that's when I realized a lot of parents have no idea. They're leaving it up to the school counselor, to help the kids get a scholarship. In the African American community, you can forget about it. By the time we get there, we have to pay, we have to take out a loan, we have to do all these things. When there's so much money out there because the parents aren't educated, you know? So
Which is why we invite the parents to come to the conference. So that whole family goes home informed. This is how you can do this. This is where you should see yourself. This is how, one step at a time, how you can get there. We teach them budgeting. We teach them, we open up opportunities for them to apply for other scholarships, not just ours. You can get a scholarship for bowling. Yes. You can get a scholarship for any number of things. You just got to research, what am I interested in? What am I willing to put the time in and do the work? And know that there are timelines for these things. People don't just give you money in 48 hours. So if you are planning to go to college, start on a campus in August, you need to start applying for scholarships in your senior year. And you need to have your GPA focusing starting from your sophomore year. Because cumulative, they see what kind of student you are, and they see what your commitment is to yourself. That's what your GPA is. Your GPA is your commitment to yourself. How committed am I to invest in me? And that makes a difference across.
And now colleges want to see that you're invested in the community.
In the community. You know?
So that's what
everything else. Yeah.
Exactly. So since you're doing a plethora, so many things, my next question to you is, what does Dr. Lewis do for self-care?
Wow. Self-care. Sleep. I don't get to sleep a lot, but when I'm tired, I work hard. I'm an admitted workaholic, but just like I work hard, I play hard. So when I disconnect, I disconnect. I will decide, it's like, wait a minute, I have 4 days off. Oh, I'm going to Costa Rica. Bye. I take my golf clubs and my Bible, sleep, and I'm gone. I do the things that I enjoy doing. I don't get, like I said, sometimes it doesn't come all of the time. Right. But I know that, okay, this season, like I was saying, I'm focused on here. I got to be on set. I got to do this. I got to do this. Then I got to do promotion. Then I got to do this. I said, okay, I know I have a couple of minutes coming up, or even if it takes me by surprise, I allow me to be okay. For self-care, I minimize my time on social media. There's a lot of things that I would do because I know that it's important career-wise, and that's the world that we live in today. I also have my goddaughter handle my social media for me. So she's on staff for me so that I'm not here, 24/7 looking at a phone, texting, typing, creating this, creating that. It's like, no, she loves doing that stuff. I send her the material. I do go to my pages and check, every now and then for comments, and some things I do reply to directly, but every message that is on my pages does come from me, even though I don't hands-on do the typing. I send her, this is my message. This is what I want to support. This is what I'm doing. Here are some pictures. Handle that. Okay. And you delegate. If I'm not on camera, if I'm not working, I don't wear any makeup. And people say, wow, you still look so young. Your skin looks like this. It's like, because I don't clog it up with stuff. I don't. And again, I can't say it enough. I'm so grateful for the lesson I earned early on to be comfortable in my own skin. I'm a woman. I was a dancer. I'm on stage. I'm on camera. All of us have our insecurities. I'm too tall, too short. I'm too thick. I'm too thin. I think I'm thick now. I look at pictures of me when I was doing A Different World and all those other shows. I always thought I was overweight. That's a dancer's mentality. You're never thin enough. I look at those pictures today, I would give money to have that body again. I really wish I had left myself alone. Okay. So
Dr. Lewis, let me interject. You have a grown woman's body. That's what you got right now. Okay. Grown body. All right.
So, I mean, things like that. I love to get massages. I play golf. I ride horses. I scuba dive. I love to dance. I love going to concerts. I love going to live shows. And I love being around good people. I love dancing. I love laughing. I love being genuine. I love just not having to worry about being on all the time. That's my self-care. Is when I'm on, I'm responsible to be on. I'm there with you. But as soon as I don't have to be on, I'm Dawnn. But I am always Dawnn. And again, grateful to my family, grateful to my village that we just keep it real and keep it grounded. So I believe the outside of me is reflecting the peace and the contentment that's on the inside of me, all by the grace of God.
Well, Dr. Lewis, they said you look amazing. You still got it. It never went anywhere. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ask, okay, so we talked about how you do manage self-care. Why is it important that women support each other?
Wow. There are so many forces, just in general, that are divisive when it comes to humanity, to society. We're experiencing it more and more today on a global level, basically due to social media. We get to see things almost in real time of how people are either there for you or intentionally committed to being against you, whether it's because of your gender, your spiritual beliefs, the color of your skin, your economic status, where you live. Are you Republican? Are you Democrat? They find all kinds of reasons to divide us and separate us. We live on a very, very small planet. This is the only planet we got. There's not going to be any more oceans. You know what I mean? There's not going to be, what other better option is there? As women, we are resilient beyond. And that's cross-culturally, because historically, as women, we have been minimized. We have been monetized. We have been oppressed. We have been abused historically. Historically, history has not given credit where credit is due. Maybe internally in your culture, there's a handful of women that we celebrate. Right. For African Americans, you have Michelle Obama. Now you've got Cicely Tyson in entertainment. You've got Harriet Tubman from those days, Sojourner Truth. There's a handful that we celebrate, but collectively, we birth babies through slavery. We birth babies that help build and cultivate this country. We continue to get more and more access to corporate opportunities, to development opportunities. And none of it is by accident. Mm-hmm. None of it is because you are the one exception. We are here collectively. And so I think the more that we recognize and celebrate each other, your light does not extinguish my light. It just adds more light. So the more light we let into the room without feeling as though I can't have my light if you have your light, because your light might be brighter than my light. Well, how about looking at it instead of that my light is brighter than your light? I got more light to share. So come stand next to me. And that means the light is even brighter on both of us. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have enough forces and enough people and enough systems doing their best to extinguish our light. Why are we doing that to each other? Bring excellence, okay? Don't come to me with mediocrity. Dawn, can you hook me up? Can you do this? Can you do this? No, I will assist you. I can't do it for you. And I am fighting for my own reality, okay? So we can fight together. And what I have that I'm not using, I'll be happy to share it with you. But I can't keep reaching back to bring you forward. I need to see you trying to catch me. We need to be like relay runners in the Olympics, okay? We have a space that each of us is responsible for. And in my leg of the relay, I used to run track. On my leg of the relay, I'm ahead of you. I can look back, but I can't run back. If I start running back, we've all lost. So I'm running, keeping pace. I need you to come on, bring it. Come on, bring it. And guess what? Bam, my hand goes back. You put that baton in it. You keep running, and I keep the race moving. I'm standing on the shoulders of people who passed me the baton successfully. I am trying to position myself so that as I'm running my race, I'm going to catch the next generation, the next person who hopefully has prepared themselves, who's done the fitness work, who's done the endurance work to keep the race moving forward. That's what we're seeing now. We're seeing more African-American female showrunners, writers, directors, producers, studio heads, all of that. Diane Carroll was on our show In a Different World. She looked around and saw us as young talent, a Black director, Black executive producer, Black head writer, Black people behind the camera, and said she never would have dreamed she would see a day where she would walk onto a set, and that would be the reality. We're standing on her shoulders.
And we have to honor people like that, because for me right now, I'm learning in 2023, there's a season and a reason. Just because we're here, that doesn't mean you need to come with me to the next season. And I'm okay, because what I would do in the past, I would give out the water, tap out my bank balance. So when it's time for me to go back to the bank, the check is bouncing, because I am depleted, so to speak. So what I've learned is to build up my resources, whether it's I need to sleep, whether I need to take time for myself. That's what I'm doing. It's all about me in 2023. That doesn't negate meaning that I will ignore you, but I'm taking care of Jackie from head to toe. That's what I'm doing, because I have to build up my platform, because I don't want to have to keep reaching back and like, hey, can you support this? I want to build my own resources with corporate sponsorships and things like that. And then I can help fully on how I need to help. So some people may be left, some people, it is what it is. I have to focus, because I have such a goal in mind where I'm laser focused now. I'm not going to and fro. So my question to you is, if right now, let's say Schuster comes over to you and says, Dawn, Dr. Lewis, we saw you on the Women Are Worthy Network, and we want you to write your book. What would be the title right now?
Wow. Okay, I've been asked this question. The title of my first CD was called Worth Waiting For.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that I have written and recorded music for I'm hearing double. Are you hearing double?
Not on my end.
Okay. I had written and recorded music for so many other artists. I had my own record out, but it was a single, and then TV happened. So music got put on the back burner, or people would look at me and go, oh, you want to sing now? It's like, no, I've been singing. TV is what's new. So it took me a while after writing and recording for other people to finally do my own project. So when I say Worth Waiting For, it was important to me, and I did it through my own record label and my own music publishing company. Hallelujah. Yeah. So And then two, my hope was that when people heard the CD, they would feel, oh, this was worth waiting for. My other title would be, if not worth waiting for, it would be, see, what had happened was. That would be the other title of my book, because it's an ongoing story. It's an ongoing journey. It's like, you see me here where I landed, but howsoever, how I got here. See, what had happened was I was trying to get a record deal, and the music director of the Cosby Show heard my demo and said, would you come work with me to write the theme song for this new show? I was like, okay, sure. So now I'm writing the theme song for A Different World. What had happened was I graduated high school, music and art, when it was up in Harlem at age 16. I go down to college, University of Miami. I'm singing opera, I'm playing cello, I'm running track. I've been dancing my whole life. When I go to U of M, they want me to take the same classes I just had in high school. I said, no. Don't you know where I just came from? I already did this. I'm not doing this again. But I was singing opera. That was what was required for my major. So I erased half of the classes they wanted me to take, wrote in what I wanted to take, and they were reluctant to admit me anyway because I was so young. Okay, halfway through my freshman semester, I get called into the dean's office. They said, young lady, this is your one and only warning. We were concerned about admitting you in the first place, but now you're about to be sent home. I said, why? They said, because you're not going to your classes. I said, you kidding me? I'm going to all of my classes and I'm pulling a 4.0 GPA. Well, you haven't been in this class, and this class. I said, oh, well, I'm not in that class. I'm in this class, and this class. Well, who told you to do that? I said, nobody. I'm here on student loans and college work study. I figured it's my money. I'll take the classes I want to take. So that's when they let me know that the School of Music and the School of Fine Arts had been in conversations for almost 2 years about starting a new degree program for people like me who did cross disciplines. They weren't just one thing. So I had to re-audition for every class that I was already acing, had a 45-minute audition for the entire faculty of the School of Music, the entire faculty of the School of Fine Arts. I had to choreograph a dance. I had to do a comedic and a dramatic monologue. I had to sing arias in Italian and French. I mean, it went on and on. I had to sing a jazz standard and a Broadway tune. It took 45 minutes for them to officially start the new degree program. What had happened was, at 16 years old, this little girl from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, comes in and crafts a new degree program at the University of Miami. So I am its first graduate and the official founder of the musical theater degree program at the University of Miami. Who does that? See, what had happened was, that would be the name of it.
Right. See, you've done, just listening to you, you have lived and you're still living a phenomenal life. You are the epitome of living your best life. You know what I'm saying? Because you're taking the opportunities that God has given you and you're smashing it. You're smashing it, right? So I'm going to throw out some names and just give me the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
You feel. Cree Summer.
Brilliant. Voiceovers.
Kadeem Hardison.
Goofy.
Jasmine.
Industrious.
Dr. Lewis.
Dr. Lewis. Multifaceted.
Dawn Walker.
Dawn Walker. A rock.
Yo, I love me some Dawn Walker.
A rock. She's a rock. She's a rock star. That's what Dawn is. Dawn is a rock star. And she's got the most beautiful name.
When I tell you, you can tell the people from the top down, you can tell that you are doing a great job, because talking to her, when I tell you, I just love seeing her text. She's so professional. Yes. Everything she said she was going to do, she did. Yeah. I'm telling you, she hit it out the park. And I'm so honored to have met her, due to you, obviously. So I just want to say, man, she is, yeah, I agree with you. She's rock solid.
She's a rock star. And she does this with me. She works with me out of love. She really does. Dawn has her own career. She's a successful corporate person. And Dawn is a rock star, and and again, that's a woman who sees a need. She has a level of excellence and experience and something I don't do.
Mhm.
But yet she's willing to share her gift and her blessing in order to continue to help me succeed. So I only pray that the opportunity for her to bless me the way that she is, in
Yes,
turn, is a blessing to her.
I
That it's
agree.
filling a space and filling an opportunity in her that matters to her. And as you go through your journey with this platform, whether it's corporate support, whatever it is, I wouldn't be surprised if some of your listeners are CEOs of corporations and they're looking, what do we do with our discretionary funds for this quarter? It's like, this is a sister, Miss Jacqueline Charles. Okay. Who
Thank
could use
you.
some support? Who could use some, but that's how we do. That's
Yes.
how we should be doing. Look for those opportunities to get things that come to you through you to someone who you know is going to maximize the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you need to read that. I don't want to
Okay,
read it to you.
okay, Chris B. When you was on hanging with Mr. Cooper, you was my wife, but you ain't know it. Damn, the kids have been screaming for you, Chris. Where have you been? Where have you been?
I don't want to keep you too long because I know you have other things to do. And first, let me put this out there.
But before you go, okay, the last impression I ever want to leave anyone with is that any of this is easy, that any of this is challenge free, that I have had this challenge free life. That couldn't be further from the truth. Growing up in a home wrought with domestic violence, that was one of the reasons why it was important to me to go to New York to do Tina on Broadway, playing Miss Zelma Bullock, Tina Turner's mother.
Mhm.
Tina herself was raised in a home with domestic violence. In fact, the Broadway play opened with myself and her husband, Richard Bullock, which was Tina's given name, and Anna Mae Bullock, in a home where her parents, she watched her parents duke it out. And it got to a point where the mother had to leave to save her life. My mother did the same thing. Going through the journey of life in this industry that can be so minimizing, so divisive. Again, you're not pretty enough, you're not ordinary looking enough, you're too tall, you're too big, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too brown. When I came up on television, there weren't many brown skinned girls on television. Everybody was fair skinned, green eyes, size 2, long hair, you know. So when I was coming up, even for this role, my own personal insecurities and takes on what I had been accustomed to would have taken me out of my own race, if not for my determination. I'm going to show up and they're just going to have to tell me no. So when they told me yes, you then go through again, each step you take. There are those who want to minimize. There are those who see you coming and just want to block your path. There are those I've had to give up a lot. I have basically been on my own since I was 16 years old. I have not been alone, but I have been on my own. Like I left New York and went to college at 16, down in a completely different state, thousands of miles away. A couple of years after college, I get relocated to California because that's where we shoot A Different World. I'm the only one in my family who's here in California. Everyone I've known, grown up with, and loved is there. The industry, it makes it challenging for relationships. There are things that you have to pick and choose. While I'm open to a relationship, I'm a single person going through life. We're not meant to do this by ourselves. You know, there are all kinds of things that each of us are facing, that each of us are challenged with. So, you know, Chris, you make a joke that you were my husband on when I was doing a TV show. It's you know, you come close to certain realities, but it hasn't manifested. So just know it comes with a whole other set of it's a balancing act for me, just like anybody else. So while I'm grateful for the roses, I'm grateful for the highs. There are, you know, you get
Right.
balance. You're like, oh God, when is my next gig? Or you're in the middle. You're on your 1000th gig, but all people want to talk about is a show you did 35 years ago. It's like, come on now. But see, but it's things like that in itself, even all of that love presents its own challenge. Because for the studios and the networks and the casting directors, they're like, well, if that's all they see you as, we're over here. We need somebody that they can see over here. But yeah, so then we're not checking for you. So, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to say this, right? Because just getting to know you. I feel okay. We adopting you. I'm adopting you. Okay, sorry, you got another sister, right? And what I want for you, Dr. Lewis, is I'm married to a Trini. I'm married 34 years,
Oh,
right?
praise God. Awesome.
And you've got the black girl magic thing going on. We the original unicorn. I don't know what Tiffany Haddish talking about. This is the original unicorn over here. And the Will Smith and Jada, when they talk about divorce, this is it over here without all that extra. So my wish for you in 2023 is for you to for the right helpmate that God sends to find you. Because you are not meant to do this by yourself. You have sacrificed. Lord knows the sleepless night. Lord knows the crying that you may have done that we don't know about. Being lonely because your family is not there and it's just you going through what you look. I'm not trying to preach a sermon, but I got to pour this into you because when you said that, it hit me. It hit my heart right there. You deserve this. You deserve more happiness because you have so much love to give. Just listening to you and how you're just good people. You know what I'm saying? And I want whatever you want. I want God to manifest and bring it to you 1,000-fold because you deserve to, look, honey, I'm tired. I want to put my head on your shoulder and for him to say, okay, fine, I got this. Because being single, you got to do so much. As you said, being a Black woman, we have to, and I look, I'm there with you, working in corporate and reaching the level that I've reached, and people don't understand. People think that it was just given to me. I had to work for this crap. Okay? I had to work really hard where people are sleeping, and it takes a lot of balls to go into an entrepreneurship, to go into acting, because you're on your own. You got to do what you got to do. There's no safety net like, other than if you don't, your insurance and all of that, or paid time off. Some folks don't have that. So I want you to know you're what they talk about, boss. You're a boss woman. You're a boss woman. And I tip my hat to you if I could. But what I'm going to do is, again, another rose. Thank you for being you. I don't want you to feel like you have to be strong or whatever. And you don't seem like you're like that, meaning like if you need to break, you'll break. But because you're doing everything else.
I refuse to break. I'm willing to bend. I'm like one of those huge, beautiful palm trees. I will bend. I'm not going to let you break me. God did not design me to break.
See, that's the island. That's the Guyanese in you.
There you go.
In the Brooklyn. So again, my wish for you is for that helpmate who has God first and will do what he needs to do with you, whatever list or whatever you have, because you deserve that. And I hope, I pray, I want to see marriage if that's what you choose, or live it, whatever it is. I want to see coupledom. I want to see that unicorn love. That I don't even want to say black magic because I know what your preference is. I want to see the magic. Okay, whether it's Mandingo or Italian, I don't care. I want to see the magic. Okay,
come on.
So, but it was a pleasure having you on our show. You are just beautiful inside and out. And again, I want to thank Dawn Walker. That's my girl. That's my another sister from another mister right there. And we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. Again, we want to remind you, in order to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.